I think I feel shame that I feel this way. That's right, we're really taking it there, sister. Today, I am so excited to walk you through my postpartum journey. It has been a journey. And I wanted to give the biggest of thank yous to Eva NYC for sponsoring a small portion of today's video. It's officially started. I am losing my hair in the shower. I am treating my hair like I should have been treating it all along, and I am trying to have as little as humanly possible of it fall out. If you're new here, typically I will diffuse my hair because it's quick, fast, easy. But today it just wasn't gonna happen today with Arlo. So I let it air dry, and I love that I was able to still get such great volume in my hair while using this amazing 10-in-1 primer from Eva NYC. So let's go ahead and jump in the shower. I'll show you how I get some really nice volume to my hair and a really soft, pretty, like kind of tousled texture with just one product, and one affordable product at that. In the shower, I use the Healthy Hair line from Eva NYC. It's a great everyday shampoo and conditioner. And then I jumped in with the Deep Conditioning Treatment Mask. It is hands down the best drugstore hair mask on the market. Try to tell me something is better. I'll wait. I will link that product in the description box down below as well. Tragically, my hands were slippery and I did drop the mask on the floor, but I proceeded to pick it up and save it. Not a drop was wasted. I'm not playing with my Eva NYC hair mask, okay? Now let's get out of the shower and I'll show you how I use just one product to create beautiful tousled waves. We're fresh out the shower. It's time to jump in with a leave-in spray. Today we're gonna be going in with Eva NYC's 10-in-1 primer for fine hair. If you have hair similar to me and you have fine hair, meaning your hair gets weighed down easily, maybe your hair doesn't maintain definition really well, leave-ins can really weigh your hair down, but this one is designed specifically for fine hair to be really lightweight. The biggest difference I noticed with my hair with a 10-in-1 primer is just hydration, which of course has a lessening of frizz, and it just makes it a little bit more manageable. This is the old packaging, which you've seen me talk about many a time here on my channel. This is obviously the new packaging. I think it's so much cuter, and it has a really fine mist, which I love. And it also has a heat protectant, which is great if you're gonna go in with like a curling iron or anything. But also, of course, if you're diffusing, it's important to remember that unless you're using it on the cold button, you are applying heat to your hair, which can be damaging. And in the summer, we're getting enough damage with the sun and the chlorine and the sea salt. So it's a really great product, I think, especially for these warm summer months. And I think you've already seen the results, which is funny because I haven't seen them yet. So I will see you in the future. Let's go talk about the results. You already saw what it looked like alone with just the 10-in-1 primer air dried. This is what my hair looks like diffused with a cream and gel styler on top. It's a versatile product that I've used for years and will always recommend because it's cheap and it works, and it's linked below. Now let's jump into my postpartum journey. If you have recently had a loss, I will be speaking about the highs and the lows as well. And I personally had a very hard time hearing people speak negatively about pregnancies or postpartum in any way, shape, or form while I was going through my losses. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that maybe just like be cautious and guard your heart with this video if that's something that you are not ready to hear. Where to begin? As many of you know, I had a C-section. So many thoughts come to mind when having a C-section. First being that while I was in the hospital, I did not think that it was that bad pain-wise. Like every day they would come in and check on me, and they would say like, you know, where's your pain at on a scale of like 1 to 10? And I would pretty much always say a 4. I think maybe the very first day after I said a 5, it was pretty painful. I mean, I was walking like the Hunchback of Notre Dame to the bathroom, and like, it wasn't fun. But I was okay. And they kept being like, are you sure? Because most people are at like an 8 on today. Most people are at an 8 the day after. And I was like, I've had a ruptured ectopic pregnancy. I've had my fallopian tube burst inside of me. This is not an 8. I know what an 8 feels like. This isn't an 8. I just used the ibuprofen and Tylenol rotating, and they would ask constantly like, are you sure? Are you sure you don't need anything stronger? Like we can get you something stronger. And I was like, no, I'm doing ibuprofen and Tylenol, and I am rotating that. I am not here trying to get like hooked on opiates. That's just something I'm afraid of. And I just am very cautious with taking like super strong medication, especially for those of you who don't know, my husband is in the recovery industry. My husband has a treatment center for those who struggle with drug and alcohol addiction. I've seen people get hooked on these medications. It is horrific. And so I was just always like, Tylenol only, blah, blah, blah. We come home, I'm like, this is great. Like, I'm feeling good. I was like hobbling around the kitchen, but nonetheless, I was moving around the kitchen, even after having major abdominal surgery. Like, yes, I was in pain, but I was okay. And we started taking care of this little one, okay? Started taking care of Arlo. We were so focused on Arlo, trying to make sure he was eating every 3 hours, waking him up to eat every 3 hours, trying to figure out the breastfeeding. Breastfeeding wasn't working, so then I started pumping. All the things, right? Just so overwhelmed with taking care of a baby that we forgot about me. I stopped taking my medication cold turkey, the ibuprofen and the Tylenol, just thinking like, oh, it's ibuprofen, Tylenol. Like, how much could that really be doing? Baby girl, it was doing a lot. So when I went cold turkey on the Tylenol and ibuprofen, it was very closely behind the rupturing of the fallopian tube pain. It felt quite literally like I was being stabbed. Like, I've always heard of, oh, do you have stabbing? Oh, I have stabbing pain. I've always heard of that phrase. I never knew what that meant until I stopped taking my medications. I was literally screaming out. And I say this doesn't have to go this way. Like, if I would have just continued taking the ibuprofen and Tylenol, I think I would have had a probably overall pretty positive experience with that immediately following the hospital, right? Guys, I was screaming. I would scream out in pain trying to bend over and pull up my own diaper, and I would have to call Daniel in there, and I'd be hysterically crying. Well, he's taking care of the baby. I couldn't move an inch. He's taking care of the baby, doing his diaper and changing my diaper while I screamed. We were both screaming and we were both crying. And I don't say this to scare you. It doesn't have to be this way. If you simply continue to take your medication as you're supposed to and you don't stop cold turkey, you will be fine. I think it's something important to learn as a mother. Like, yes, of course, your child comes first, but you do have to take care of yourself in order to take care of your child. I can't take care of him if I'm not taken care of. I will never forget the next day calling his pediatrician and them being like, oh no, you need to bring him in today for an appointment. And I just started absolutely hysterically crying. And I was like, okay, are you sure it has to be today? And I called Daniel and I was like, hey, we gotta go. We have to go to the pediatrician today. And he was like, okay, well, you can't go. And I was crying. I was hysterical and I was screaming in pain. I was screaming and crying. And he was like, okay, well, you can't go, so I'll take him. And I was like, I won't miss my baby's first pediatrician appointment. I remember saying, this is so dramatic, but I remember saying I would rather die than not go. I started hobbling down the stairs, screaming with every step. And my husband was like, I'm calling the pediatrician back. We will go tomorrow if you have to be there, but you can't go today. And he like took my phone. He was like, go back upstairs. He called the pediatrician and he was like, we're going tomorrow. We're going tomorrow. I could not have done it without my husband and without my partner supporting me. I literally don't think I could have done it. I've always known how important it was to pick a great partner, but I don't think you really, really realize how important it is until things get really, really hard in life. And I saw the way Daniel cared for me and loved me through our losses and cared for me and loved me through this pain. He never once complained about caring for our child 24/7 while I physically couldn't. He never once complained about putting on my diaper, putting on my clothes. All I can say is do not settle when you go to pick a partner, because whether you are able to or choose to have a child, something else hard will happen in life. And how that partner shows up for you is really important. And a couple days later, honestly, I feel like this is like a sob story. Okay, a couple days later, I got a UTI, and it was Easter weekend, right? He was born April 10th, and it was Easter weekend, a couple weeks after he was born, and I was peeing like every 5 minutes, Having a UTI in general is not fun, let alone after having surgery. Like standing up, sitting down, standing up, sitting down on the toilet over and over and over again was super, super painful. And my OB, no doctor's offices nor my OB was open because it was Good Friday. That's what it was. It was the Friday before. It was Good Friday. So I went to the urgent care clinic. But the thing is like, my baby was like 2 weeks old at an urgent care clinic. I mean, think about how sick and like germy that place is. And I knew I could not take him there. And when I found out that I had to leave my baby like 2 weeks after he was born, and it's hard to explain if you've never had a child, but your hormones those first couple weeks are just such a roller coaster. It was too soon. I wasn't ready. While I was in urgent care, I ripped all of my nails off. Like, these are my real nails now, but I had like fake nails, like fake tips or whatever. I ripped them all off. I was not well mentally. And I think just because I was so emotionally unregulated, discombobulated, it feels embarrassing to share with you. But I know I'm not the only one who struggled. I know that many of you have struggled postpartum. Maybe you had postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety. I know I'm not alone. And I would say that those first 2 months, minus the first 2 weeks, I was honestly in such a baby bliss and a baby high. I remember people checking on me and just being like, are you okay? How are you doing? How are you feeling? I know newborns are so hard. And honestly, I feel like Arlo, I felt so blessed. I feel like he was, we're getting there, truly just like the easiest newborn ever. I could soothe him in minutes. He never had like witching hour or anything like that. He was just a very peaceful, easygoing, happy baby. And then 3 months hit. I would say that Arlo has been significantly more fussy, more challenging to settle, to soothe. I feel like in those first 8 weeks, like there was never a time where I couldn't soothe him in honestly 2 minutes at the most. Now there's sometimes where it'll get to the point where I just have to walk around the house with him for 20 minutes. Like he's not going to settle. It's not going to happen. And if I'm not continuously moving, it's not going to happen. This next part is embarrassing to say, so just bear with me. I think I feel shame that I feel this way, which is why I think I'm getting emotional. I have a really hard time listening to him cry. It hurts my head. I feel like I can't think clearly when he is crying for 20 minutes. It makes me angry inside, and I get very frustrated, and I feel helpless, like it'll never stop, the crying, and I kind of shut down. Headphones have become my lifeline. I feel very overstimulated when he's crying for a long period of time. And I feel shame around it because I've wanted a baby for so long, as many of you know, and it's been a long journey to get here, and I don't want to, I just beat myself up when it's a hard day and he's having a hard day and I'm having a hard day and I might not be happy in that moment, or I'm frustrated or whatever it may be. And I'm just like, India, you've waited so long for this. You need to enjoy every single second and not complain, and shouldn't be frustrated when your baby cries. You should just only be happy and want to comfort them and soothe them and not be frustrated. And what's wrong with you? Why are you frustrated? These are just kind of the things that I feel in my head. It's hard to say that out loud. It's hard to tell you that. I keep looking away from you. But I am having a hard time with him crying. I think it's just extra hard because, like I said, in those first 8 weeks, he was literally the easiest baby on earth. All of that to say, if you have struggled postpartum, I see you, I am with you. If you are currently struggling with your child, maybe they're also about to be 4 months old. Maybe you have a 1-year-old, a 5-year-old, an 8-year-old. I know there's challenges in every stage, but just different challenges in navigating those. Just know that you are doing an amazing job. You are doing the best job you can. And I firmly believe that God made you the parent of that baby for a reason. You were chosen for that baby and for that baby's needs. I want to thank you for listening to my postpartum journey. It's been full of highs and lows. I could not be more grateful for Arlo, but I have been struggling with him for like 3 or 4 weeks. And that's okay. I kindly ask you to leave messages of joy, kindness, grace, and encouragement. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening and just being a kind, safe space for me to land on. Yeah, all right. I love you guys. And until next time, I'll see you soon. Hopefully Arlo will be sleeping better and doing better. Say bye, friends.